But according to the research, there's really 5 steps that you need to take to come up with a really effective plan. And I've summarized those in these 5 steps that we'll get into: aspirations, benefits, challenges, contingencies, and specifics, or as I call them, the ABCs of plan making. So where does this come from? Well, I have to tip my cap to a German researcher named Gabriel Oettingen, who has really been the lead on really looking into like what's the best way to make a plan that people follow through on. And so I want to start just by showing you one of Dr. Ottingen's studies that shows like what happens when you use these ABCs goal making strategy. So this was a study that involved 58 women in New York City, and they were all doing a 21-week vocational program to help them sort of find better jobs in New York City, especially jobs for single mothers. And so this is how ABCs worked in this research study. First, they asked all these women to write down, what is one important academic concern you want to solve this week? So trying to figure out a specific goal that these women had for the week. Just like we talked about with mowing the lawn or painting your basement, but here they wanted to know an academic goal they had. So that's the aspiration. What do you want to accomplish? Step 2, the benefits. Write in vivid detail about the most positive aspect associated with solving your concern. And this is a step that in plan making we often leave out, is really trying to get ourselves or our students to focus on what good is going to come from you achieving your goal. And as I'll show you in some later research, this is a really important step. So what are the benefits? 3, name the challenges. We talked about that with this intention behavior gap. We talked about that with the students not accepting their financial aid. What are the most important obstacles standing in the way of your academic goal? And then you have contingencies, which in this literature, they often frame around if-then plans. So if you have a challenge, then you say, if that challenge occurs, then I will do what? How will you react when you face that challenge? And that's going to help you make it easier if that challenge comes up. You've already made a contingency plan for what you're going to do. You don't have to kind of think of it on the spot when you might be stressed out or have lower cognitive capacity because of how busy or other things going on in your life. And then the 5th step is getting specific. So this goes back to those implementation intentions we did earlier, talking about the when, the where, the who. So the more specific those contingency plans get to get around those challenges, the more likely you are to follow through. And so what they looked at with doing these ABCs, goal or plan making with these women in this vocational program, was absences in the course. And what they found was the women who did that, where it was especially impactful, was women who had at least 2 children and worked at least part-time. They were the ones who had extremely more absences than any of the other women in the program. You see over 12 absences on average. But when they did this goal making plan, which of course did not change the fact that they had multiple children to take care of, did not change the fact that they were working, just helped them think about their goals in a different way. Now all of a sudden their absences were reduced by over 50% down to about 6 days, which was similar to most of the other women in the study. So that's kind of the broad big picture of like, what is this ABCs process and how does it work? And now I want to go through some of the other steps in a little bit more detail. So again, A is for aspirations. What is the goal? Here, I want to show you an example. This is from the Persistence Plus platform of when we ask students to choose specific goals for the week, academic or otherwise. And here are just some example responses. We've gotten around a lot to do with completing homework, getting ahead on their studies. Someone who needed to apply for 4 jobs was their goal. Getting breakfast every day. I thought that was a fantastic goal because I hate any day that I don't get my breakfast in. And so this is something that's very easy to do over text and email, to talk about like getting to specific goals.